Tonight is the closing ceremonies of the Olympics, and we're going to see exactly what we can do to find out if we can watch it here in Tokyo. Let's go. In this video, we're talking about the closing ceremonies of the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. Let's get into it. This is not going to be your typical video where we show you the closing ceremonies and we have fans and spectators in the stadium and it's really ruckus noise and everyone's excited and cheering. And no, what this is going to be is a real raw experience of the closing ceremonies in Tokyo this year, in which spectators were not allowed to be in the stadium. And so, since we couldn't go in the stadium, what's the next best idea? To go to the stadium, but go to the stadium outside. So here's how I came up with the idea of I was going to go to the Tokyo Olympics closing ceremonies. I was thinking I was going to do the opening ceremonies a couple weeks ago. Since we couldn't go into the stadium, I thought maybe I'd be outside the stadium, look up and see the fireworks, etc., etc. But I chose not to go for the opening ceremonies due to reasons. Well, obviously if you watched the opening ceremonies, you saw that they had the drones at the very top. And I was like, holy crap, that is beautiful. If I could see that in person, that would have been epic. So I thought, if they're gonna do that for the closing ceremonies, why not I travel to Tokyo and try to experience the closing ceremonies? So I wasn't disappointed with the closing ceremonies. If I was to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, I would rate it a 7. And my reasoning is this. If it had the drones or something epic in the sky other than the fireworks were beautiful. But if it had anything additional like drones or I don't know, something flying where you could see from the outside, I would have gave it a 10 out of 10. Still, I give it a 7 even though I was out there crowded, whole bunch of people to my left, right, in front of me, pushing, shoving. It was insane crowded because I was at the edge. As you can see in the video, I was at the edge of the street across from the stadium, in which you could see, especially the location I was at, you could perfectly see Tokyo 2020 and you could see the building, and then when fireworks would show you could see it at the top. Well, funny thing, everyone was sitting there watching the stream of the Tokyo, the closing ceremonies. They're watching it going, okay, fireworks might happen now, and then they'd watch, no, okay. So we're always in preparation mode of, okay, camera up, cameras up, cameras up, over and over and over. It was sort of funny, but at the same time very tiring, sweaty, just a really like 3 hours of just standing still, because if you move you're basically kicked out. So non-stop streaming. But what's funny, as you saw in my previous videos in the streams, it's 1 minute behind. So when the fireworks start showing up on the screen, it's a little too late. Because of all that, it was a little difficult to time it. So I was always sitting there just hands up ready. And so you can see a lot of my videos, I'm trying to see, okay, can I time it correctly? What can I see? Even with all this going on, all the crowds, the timing, the fact that it was very difficult to get good shots and time the fireworks perfectly, all that considered, I still rated a 7 out of 10 in terms of me going to experience the closing ceremonies. And here's why. Growing up, I've loved the Olympics and I've always wanted to be there in person. And that's why I had tickets to go this year. That was the whole point, be in the spectators and be like entrenched with the fans and everything. Obviously that couldn't happen when they said the spectators are no longer allowed to go. So what was the other option? Go and be a part of the experience in the city, that's what I did. And to be honest, it's amazing. It was really amazing to be able to go walk around and see all these things. I truly it was a well worth the experience in my opinion. If the Olympics ever are in your country, that's probably your best bet to see all these things, because one, obviously you could fly to these other countries. So like in the future it's gonna be in Paris. I could fly to France, but it's going to be very difficult to obtain tickets and get inside the stadium because I'm not in the local country. It's easier a little bit, I think, if you're in the local country. With that being said, even though I couldn't get into the stadium, it was still an experience that I will never forget. It's crazy to say that just being outside the stadium was a great experience, but in reality, it really was. It was something that I would probably never forget. And even without the drones and just having the fireworks, and I was literally around people I don't know. I had strangers to my left, strangers to my right, policemen behind me, shoving going on. All that considered, it was still something I will never forget, and something which really, I don't know, it sort of encompasses what the Olympics are all about, which is people coming together to watch something all at the same time. And so as you see this footage that you're watching right now of all the crowd of people and all the fireworks that I could get at the same time, and the cops and all the activity that was going on, it was still worth it in my opinion. And if you ever have the opportunity to go and see the closing ceremonies in person, you should definitely do it. And even if you can't get tickets to get inside the stadium, I would say be outside the stadium. That's still an experience in itself. I know you could be in your TV and watch it at home, but even though I couldn't see most of the ceremony except on people's small cell phones while standing there, even though I couldn't see all that, which probably would have been really awesome, the fact that you're just there with people all doing the same thing, you all have a common goal, really sort of brings you all together and just sort of gives you that, like, we're in this together, even though it's pretty dangerous because of the whole virus situation. But I really actually enjoyed my time. And even then, if you see the footage afterwards, it's still beautiful, the stadium, even though they don't let you into the stadium or even near the stadium. As you can see here, afterwards, or the morning after, when there's a little bit of sunshine, look how beautiful it is. I mean, the entrance of the Olympic Stadium where the museum is, you can see the museum and you can see the entrance and you see the Olympic rings. The Olympic rings are right across, and it's such a beautiful view with all the green grass and the trees and the way they structured it. It was a really awesome area. All I gotta say is the closing ceremonies, 7 out of 10. I really enjoyed it, even though I was still crowded and closed in, and that was just, it was a real experience. And honestly, I wouldn't change it for the world. It was really like awesome. So that was my video. That was the closing ceremonies. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the last 4 or 5 videos I've been posting about the Olympics. And if you want more things like this in Japan, not just Olympics related, but in Japan related, leave comments down below. Tell me things that you want to see, and I can try to go to those locations and give you sort of my viewpoint, vlog style like what you've seen here, and we can go from there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like rating down below. If you didn't, you can hit that dislike 2 times. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.